This is the Fifth Estate Winning Headlines Your Media Police post. In this segment, we summarize the headlines that you may have missed this morning, but we also take a look at the political pieces that we call cartoons in this country. Today is the 30th of July, 2021. I am AX.
I am GK.
And I'm Mo.
In case you missed the headlines, here they are. The Nation, schools, Uhuru leads world to raise 400 billion shillings. The Standard, why Raila quit NASA. And The Star, One Kenya unity rocked by rivalry over flag bearer. So, AX, what are you going to tell us about today?
Well, today the headlines have left me feeling incredibly uninspired. So, today I would like to talk about something else, the Gicheru case, and what it may hold in store for William Ruto. No doubt about it, this trial is dangerous for Ruto. As dangerous as a serpent and just as subtle. And this snake is heading for Ruto's chicken coop. Gicheru's case has laid the groundwork for history to repeat itself. Remember, Ruto's case at the ICC was not dismissed, but suspended. It was suspended because the presiding judge declared that there was a mistrial because of witness interference and intimidation. The same witness interference and intimidation that Paul Gicheru is on trial for right now, and the same witness interference and intimidation that, according to the court, was conducted for the benefit of and in coordination with William Samoei Ruto. Yes. After all this, I am left with just one question. Will history repeat itself with Ruto and the Gicheru case? My submission is that Ruto's future has already been decided by history. It's already been decided by the past. William Ruto is a carbon copy of Jean-Pierre Bemba.
Yes, that famous warlord from the DRC.
Yes, exactly him. The two men are inextricably linked, like a hustler and his wheelbarrow. Like Ruto, Bemba was a vice president vying for the presidency. Like Ruto, Bemba was charged with crimes against humanity, although Ruto was charged with 3 crimes against humanity, and Bemba, a literal warlord, was charged with 2. Like Ruto, Bemba's case was prosecuted by Ocampo, and like Ruto, Bemba's case was initially declared a mistrial. That was until Bemba's lawyers were found guilty of interfering with and intimidating witnesses.
Oh, I no wonder why I've heard that before.
Thereafter, Bemba was convicted of offences against the administration of justice and subsequently imprisoned. The conviction has then barred him from running for president in 2018. This is the future that awaits William Samoei Ruto. But that is not all. What if Gicheru, in a bid to save himself, has already turned on Ruto? What if a sealed warrant for Ruto's arrest has already been issued? After all, sealed warrants are not made public and can function anywhere. How would we know if one has already been issued? Perhaps this is why Ruto has been continent-bound as he's tanga-tangaing, lest one more similarity between him and Bemba emerge and Ruto is arrested in Brussels. Now, not only is the ICC coming for Ruto, but so is history. History has set a precedent for how Ruto will be treated, and in this precedent, a principle has been embalmed. Convict the lawyer, convict the deputy president.
Wow. Wow. I didn't know those similarities with Bemba.
It's almost eerie, right?
Thanks for the history lesson.
Yes, but unlike you, I actually found a headline that I really enjoyed, the Daily Nation. So today, I found myself wanting to talk about leadership. I would like to talk about leadership because the headline on The Nation shows us what true leadership looks like. In an initiative that was led by President Kenyatta and Prime Minister Johnson of the UK, as much as 400 billion shillings has been raised to educate young children. The money will be used to educate 175 million learners and help governments save trillions through developing more efficient education spending plans. All hands were on deck as Kenyan ambassadors abroad delivered as much as 70 letters to heads of state calling on countries to increase funding for education. This is leadership in an age that values optics over substance.
Amen.
An age where leaders can be broadly characterized as one of 2 things. Now, Professor Mutahi Gunyi often talks about the leadership structure of the Kikuyu. Amongst the Kikuyu, there are two archetypes of leadership, the Muteti and the Mutongoria. The Muteti are the noisemakers, the politicians, while the Mutongoria are the leaders who give you direction. The Muteti bark and lead the people with no direction. But when the Mutongoria speaks, the people stop, listen, and gravitate to their leader. The Mutongoria is not interested in public opinions. Their goal is to see their people move from point A to point B. Their goal is to hear the unheard cry of these people. But when the time is right, even the Muteti will follow the Mutongoria. And that is what Uhuru is doing. He's ignoring the roaring barks of the Muteti because he is busy leading. Once he is done, he will invite the Muteti to follow him. And this is the same lesson that Raila is learning. To gauge the direction of the people, don't go to the barkers. Listen to the leaders. I will end by giving Kenyans a warning. Voltaire once said that it is better to be led by a lion than by 100 rats. 100 rats will take you absolutely nowhere. Kenyans seem to be in a state of confusion. And I believe that it is because they are listening to the barking Muteti instead of following the actions of the Mutongoria. And as the saying goes, actions speak louder than words.
Wise words there, GK.
Incredibly
wise words. I like that you've touched on confusion, because I would like to talk about confusion today. In fact, I would like to submit that the commanding chief of the hustler forces,
the Duke of Hustlings himself.
Yes, Deputy President Ruto wants to foster confusion and not unity amongst Kenyans. His vehicle of choice, the economy. You see, what Mr. Ruto is not telling the country is this: he wishes to have full control of the economy from the top all the way to the bottom.
Not from the bottom up.
Wait, hold on. He wants to ignore natural market forces to push resources downwards and possibly to wastage. There's a reason why the bottom-up approach was an economic model dumped after the 70s. It's like over 50 years old. Let me break it down to you, okay? If you gave 1 billion shillings to those at the bottom and they proceeded to buy unproductive goods with it, or worse, keep it under their mattresses, it is untaxed. This then means that there is no way the National Treasury will get a return on investments in the form of taxes. This then means that there is no way that the National Treasury will get a return on investment from taxes on spending. In addition, the money will most probably be used to pay off Fuliza loans, right?
Okay, Mo.
Yeah. We all know that an economy needs to generate revenue, usually through taxation. We all know this. But then how does the bottom-up approach propose to do this? Especially with a largely informal bottom-up population that is largely untaxed.
Absolutely.
This will drain Kenya at some point. For instance, where would government get the money to finance, build and complete new hospitals, schools, roads and general infrastructure? Nataka pesa itoke wapi? Anyway, as Wilde once said, to be understood is to be found out. I'm of the belief that the Deputy President does not want to be understood. He just wants to confuse us. Whenever he has evangelized his bottom-up movement, especially in the country, he cites how he's given money to entrepreneurs, but in reality, what he's doing is giving handouts. We're not a people of handouts, yeah? And as the saying goes, give a man a fish and you feed him for a day. Teach a man to fish, however, you feed him for a lifetime. But our current reality is that the Deputy President does not want to teach us how to be independent. Instead, he'd rather we remain dependent on him. Again, are you guys as confused as I am? Bottom up, then... Anyway. Ladies and gentlemen, you see, the art of confusion does not mean you lie. It means you confuse. You flood the information market with so much information that it confuses the people. You occupy your enemies and then they take it upon themselves to clarify what it is you're saying. Then you overwhelm the public and then they also have to go and check out what you're saying. You want to know who else was successful in confusing people? Trump. And he did this in the 4 years of his presidency. The deputy president is no different. Instead of trying to lie, he and his disciples are choosing to confuse. Yes. We know that 1 + 1 is 2, but they want to say 1 + 1 is 3.5, 7, 6. Ruto is using an old map to take us to a new land.
You know, when you said teach a man to fish and he knows nothing, I'd say teach a man to fish and he'll come back to you tomorrow for more fish. That's exactly
But that's what he wants. He wants us to rely on him. I mean, and then he'll bottom up and then rely on him.
Confusion indeed. Anyways, we have a 3-part criteria that we use to judge the headlines for you. We ask ourselves these 3 questions. Is the headline topical or speculative? Is it repetitive or groundbreaking? And finally, is it thoughtful or just plain lazy? So, for your memories, The Nation, schools, Uhuru leads world to raise 400 billion shillings. The Standard, why Raila quit NASA. And The Star, One Kenya unity rocked by rivalry over flag bearer. I believe, and I hope you would agree with me, that The Nation deserves the victory today.
It has nothing to do with the fact that that was the paper you focused on?
Nothing to do with it. Nothing. It actually talked about what needed to be talked about. So I give it to the Daily Nation.
So because it was topical as well as the fact it was timely.
Exactly. So the winner is the Daily Nation. Now, on to the political pieces that we call cartoons in this country, where we also have a 3-part criteria that we use to judge them for you. We ask ourselves, is the cartoon humorous or dry? Is it satirical or pessimistic? And finally, is it effective or just plain lazy? So I think I will begin with the winners of the headline, the Daily Nation. So we have what seems to be Uhuru Kenyatta coming out of a British plane, walking down the tracks, and he's got several gold medals on his neck. The first ones are pounds. So pounds for bronze, pounds for silver, and then you've got the vaccines as his gold medal.
Money, money,
so,
money.
They're basically saying that the trip was very successful. Unfortunately, the only thing I would say I don't like about the cartoon is the way that they have drawn the president.
Tell me about it.
It is not flattering.
It's not flattering.
Because for me, the thing that I take issue with the most is the fact that they've drawn his knees in like this. So it's almost like he's like a little schoolgirl, and it makes me very uncomfortable to think of our president like that.
It's not great.
And he's bringing us goodies. I mean, goodies that will help the nation. So come on, nation, do the man justice, please.
Okay, now on to the Standard.
Yes, of course. So for the Standard, we have 2 people trying to climb the mountain, and you guys know which mountain I am talking about. What mountain is it?
Mount Kenya.
Of course, Mount Kenya here is an allusion for
Gema.
Sorry. It's an allusion for Gema, yes. On one hand, you have William Ruto, who appears to be struggling. You can see a lot of effort on his part. And on the other, you have Raila Odinga, who seems... His handout is, he's placed his hand out there to give a helping hand. Ruto seems content to be struggling. It seems like Kaso is sending the message that Ruto is going to be struggling up the mountain, while Raila is just going to have a very easy sail through. What do you guys think?
I think you have deducted that out of the cartoon yourself.
Well,
I think it is just talking about 2 people trying to race to the top of the mountain. Unfortunately, I feel that they have been more mountain cartoons of late, to be honest, and I think it's a narrative that is easy to draw, so I'm not for it, to be honest.
So you're trying to say they're lazy?
Yeah, it's lazy. It should be trashed, in my opinion.
But I like the struggling side of things. Struggler in chief.
Now, tell us about the Star.
Right, as for the Star, so the headline is officially single and ready to mingle, right? So I take offense to this, the Star, because, so you see you have Kalonzo with his backpack, and then he has a...
shuka.
He has a shuka around his neck.
It's like they're trying to say he's Mama
Watermelon. And then you have his co-wives who are looking at him, wondering, should we go, should we not go? And then here's Raila, who's got his 2 bags in tow and he's looking behind, but it doesn't seem like he's going to chase after them. So it's, single. And in fact, he's the one who's saying he's single and ready to mingle.
You know what was interesting about the cartoon, in my opinion? All the NASA people were drawn as women.
With the exception
that's why it took offense.
So they're saying that this was a...
it's a marriage.
This was a marriage which was unequal.
Do they have a prenup? Do we know if they had a prenup?
No idea.
I mean, clearly you can tell by the reactions of this panel. We found it incredibly
It was humorous.
took
I think it
offense.
was humorous.
I took offense, guys.
Okay, so guys, tell me, the Daily Nation, the Standard, the Star, which cartoon do you feel was best? I'd put my hat behind the Daily Nation.
Again,
Me
nothing to
too.
do with the fact that
No.
that was
No, I think going along with the article, with the headline this week, it's perfect.
It's clear.
Yeah, it's clear.
yeah,
Yeah.
the synchronicity between the two. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And,
so,
and
yeah,
these
the
are the
Nation.
guys.
Okay, so
marriage is breaking down. I mean, guys.
The winning cartoon goes to the Daily Nation.
Yeah,
So on a day when we had a winning cartoon from the Nation and a winning headline from the Daily Nation as
Yes,
well,
yes.
don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are also on your TV screens. Find us on Pang, Free to Air, GoTV, and Star Times. Thank you so much for watching.